In the space of one more map, we'll see if Guild can make their 4th major, first with the organization backing the Bad News Eagles, or if the Danes of ECSTATIC will be able to make it to the crown jewel, Vince, first time major for the entire team.
Exactly, in Copenhagen on home soil. There's not many Danes taking part now. You can count them on one hand. Can we double that tally here in our 3rd all-important map between Guild Eagles and ECSTATIC? ECSTATIC, after a really rough 13-3 defeat on Ancient, bounced back, showed resilience, showed tenacity, and got themselves into this very point where they start on the CT side.
Meaning the Guild will be a tease for this one, and on Overpass they can be a beast to be reckoned with on those T-side rounds. Pulling out the Glocks into the pistol though, and the Doolies are battling back, denying their entry towards the B site. And this is the cleanest pistol we've seen from ECSTATIC.
It certainly is. It's the one pistol they've picked up in this best of 3. They had a rough one yesterday against Apeks as well, where they won 1 in 5, and what a time to bring this one out. Now, we do have some recent stats when it comes to ECSTATIC on this very map of Overpass. They played against MOUZ earlier on in the tournament. I believe it was actually their first game. They lost 13-8. They won both pistols in that, including the CT pistol. It was their T-half that really struggled though, Jackie. They only picked up 3 rounds in their T-half, including that pistol round, and they converted into the second. So it suggests if history repeats itself, it's going to be very important for them to get a solid foundation here to kick things off.
Yeah, not a single round can be given away as a freebie. Has to be picture perfect in every asset. Salazar. Oh, you thought he had the edge there. Face round the corner, Synopsy with the P250. Puts it together to open up on the first. They put pressure on the site, call for the rotation, dealing damage, but allowing some of the Ts to bypass round the back. The rotations arrive, though, and it's relatively clean. 2 casualties for the CTs. kraghen remains alive.
And kraghen with the pistol in his hands. It was a Deagle Inferno that nearly pulled off a miracle play. Has landed the dink onto Queenix as well. Well, that's where his round will come to an abrupt end. And ECSTATIC off to a 2-0 with Patti on 5-0. One of the key players in this game as far as ECSTATIC are concerned, and he did have a bit of a slow start in those opening 2 maps. He's actually in a 0.84 rating coming into this 3rd. So this would be the perfect moment for Patti to get into that 5th gear and really show us what he's capable of, because when he's feeling it, Jackie, he can take over maps.
Really can. Can come alive and have so much impact into these rounds. Already though, Guild Eagles answer with a buy. Ooh. They go for the initial boost. You get information, spam round the corner, but kraghen, he puts himself tight tucked by the sandbags. Flames burning, heat rising, but still able to stay in position.
And that could maybe bait them into a false sense of security here, assuming that no one is sandbags. Especially if they think it's some kind of an A hit and they try and get into connector. But Guild Eagle's not necessarily known for their patience. kraghen just knows he has a really good position right now, so he's holding fire and waiting for the rest of the team to arrive. Additionally, he's barely taken a scratch. Just 10 HP has gone down. Kraghen's heard those footsteps and Synopsy's been put down, but also on top of that, it is going to be the bomb that goes with him. He is all alone, but he's got a smoke to try and fend this one off. As a Molotov comes in, he can draw fire away. And this is wasting valuable time for the Eagles. As long as kraghen survives, he is eating time off the clock.
And that's basically another man on the server for the CTs, as he's got the bomb. He's got all the time in the world to play with. Extra edge. We spoke about kraghen's position towards the start of the round, but the longer it's gone on, the less it's had to pay off. Especially as he takes a dink on contact. They can recover the bomb, sure, but with kraghen falling, the round itself, well, that goes down.
Yeah, that'll be really frustrating for kraghen, man, because like he was patiently waiting on the sandbags. He knew he had the nuts position, but the second the bomb gets spilled in connector, everything changes shape. He can no longer just sit there and wait. He has to try and make a play and take some pressure off connector to allow the Eagles to pick that bomb up. But so much time was wasted. I mean, it was like 50 seconds on the clock when Synopsy got fragged by kraghen. I think it was around 28-29 when they finally got through that smoke and were able to try and trade back and forth. So a really important play from kraghen. Solid work by him. But we're going to have to wait this one out just a little bit, as I think we do have a bit of a tech issue. Salazar pulling off his headset there. So early on, it's all been ecstatic. 3-0 in the lead. And the reason I highlighted Patti as well, Jackie, not just for the fact, like, obviously, statistically, he's a good player, but he feels like a very important component of this ecstatic aggression. He is one of their most aggressive players. He's the guy you're looking at on CT and T side. Overpass yields itself very much to aggressive CT sides, taking short control, taking con, pushing up mid. So if he's playing well, it offers you an extra element that they didn't have in the opening two maps.
No, it definitely does. It gives them a lot more to play with and completely changes how the ebb and flow of the game can go overall. And like you touched on, it is a bit of a technical timeout on this one. We're getting a restart of CS for one of the players, so we'll have that resolved and then get people back in. And these little extended pauses, sometimes this can slow you down a little bit, right? You're thinking about the momentum, you're beginning to build up on that CT side. You talk about the aggression, now you sort of get slipped out of that flow state where you're taking it round by round, you're looking for fights. You've got to quickly get back into the overall course of the game once it goes live again. And it's really quite different watching the faces of Guild over the course of this series. Normally a side that is so explosive, you know, so animated, and how you can see the emotions. When they're winning rounds, they keep playing faster and faster. They fight more aggressive. When they have a bit of a slow start, it's interesting to see how they deal with it, kind of just keeping their focus on themselves and zenning out a little bit.
That's very true. I mean, we were both kind of caught off guard by the rig on battle cry of the Eagle. Kind of caught us both off guard. It was so loud. The first map on Ancient, they were all smiles, all laughs. I mean, of course, you won 13-3. Why wouldn't you be? And this is where it's a very different side of it. And it's what we were also talking about with ecstatic, because they got loud in the start of the second map. We both loved to hear that, because we were worried that they were just going to kind of be deer in the headlights kind of mentality and just get swept aside by the raw aggression from the Guild Eagles. And I think they deserve a lot of credit, man. Like, again, the lack of experience, you get beat 13-3, you're straight back into it, though, on the second map, like nothing happened. And that is a skill. That is an art form in this game, to keep yourself as disciplined as possible. And that's exactly what Guild Eagles need to do right now at 3-0 down. It's still super early days, but when you consider how easy some of these rounds have been so far, especially the rifle round, that could be a cause for concern.
Yeah, those little details, right? The moments where you see the bomb get caught off on a rotation, the heads-up play from the CT to push in deep and find that. Those are the things that could come back to haunt you. This is the exact round where Kraghen went aggro down in the connector. Guild towards the end just didn't have anything to work with. Rigon's position towards the start, it was a really interesting one. It looked like it was going to kind of be the linchpin of the round, but bygones are bygones, and that's in the past now. We go live once again, though, off the back of the timeout. Guild with flashbangs, a single AK for GX, and then pistols supporting it.
Second smoke also deployed, just to choke them out that little bit longer. No control over the map. They do have Senri in connector. Nodios is all alone here. He's going to get two. Interesting position not to have anyone to play off. Maybe not anticipating it would be full pistols. That is effectively an extra rifle that's given across to the Guild Eagles. And it does give them a little bit to play with here, Jackie. It's a bit of an odd decision for me.
I think the problem is as well, the secondary rifle, the one they brought into the round, it has been blown out of the map. I think it's gone into the storm drain. Off the back of the HE that landed, either that or it's stuck underneath the water and cannot be spotted by Juan Flatro. So it is only one rifle still. That's all you've got to build your way back into this round. Synopsy testing out by Monster. Delayed on a push, really rough spray though, and they don't clean up. Okay, now it's a 2v2, time's tight, and you've got a flank for the CT side coming down through connector. They can still pick the bomb back up, baits out the shot from Salazar as well.
That's a spray Queenix wants to forget as fast as possible, but maybe allowed that amnesia should his teammates be successful. This 2-on-2 with 18 seconds, good flick from Salazar. Instantly rips off the head. But Synopsy is still in the fight, 73 HP to his name, 8 bullets in the magazine, but he does connect onto kraghen. Oh, the turnaround from Guild Eagles, and that's where Queenix is head in hands, because he had the chance to shut down Monster and the round with it, and the Tech 9 bests the AK, and that spray went on forever.
Yeah, just every single bullet. Oh, mate, it was like the intro to Ali G. He's just spamming a bullet outline around the wall vids.
excl feeling massive right now, but not so much after that spray. Guild Eagles, in the meanwhile, though, there was the cries, the rallying cries that we were talking about. They've been quiet up until this point, but now they know excl going to be on the back foot. MP9 257s. Oof, nearly punished.
Out towards long as well. You've got the crossfire set up, tucked in behind both of the angles. Rock control in their hands. Rigon. He's been pretty confident about these opening fights towards short. But a boost not working out, you have to switch up the play a little bit. Nodios instead looks to get aggressive. MP9 delivers on one. Oh, that SMG packs a punch.
GX just gifted that opportunity onto kraghen. Wanted to try and find some information, maybe try and wrap around the back of the T's. But all he'll do is find that AWP caliber bullet lodged into his chest as a 338 dismantles him with ease. No nades additionally for excl. Tons. Surplus on the side of the Eagles, throwing the Molotov, allowing one flat row to join Synopsy. It looks like it's going to be a monster explosion here as Rigon can smoke and Molotov onto the site to proceed the push. Molly now tossed at the back of the pillars. And the flashbang alongside it, and here we go. And the 5-7, make amends. Queenix not able to do anything on that one, and Patti forced back into a save.
And this is Patti, over the course of the early rounds. He's already showing what he's made of. 6 frags to his name. In all of the big games, he's been delivering for excl. Really good at finding entries with the AK on his T-halves. Normally pretty proficient at the multi-kills on CT side. Synopsy doesn't want to overstep the boundary. He's suspicious that they're saving around the back of the boxes by Club Bunny.
Could see that Patti was hoping to get away with that one. Obviously, the second he opens up his magazine, he's going to give his position away, and he's a dead man. So, was hoping and praying that they didn't spot him, but that's not the case. 3-2. And Guild Eagles right back in this, denying any save weapons. It will be a full-on save.
So nothing really to play with other than the single flash. There's been a lot of ingenuity from excl. Whenever they're down to just the USPs on their CT sides, they have some crazy stacks that they'll pull out. They like going for the tank setup, so you have all 5 players together. Ooh, flash round the corner, not going to work out too well. Near miss on that one as they go running on in and feed themselves into the rifle. At least a single pickup. GX with a tech, quick switch. Can't deliver though.
Less Ali G, more Borat. That spray from GX. That's a rough one. Not sure I'll get punished though when there isn't open AK in play and they're actually team killing each other in the smoke. Come on now, Guild Eagles, not like this.
Well, what is going on? It's normally the chaos that they thrive in, but here it feels like it got a little bit too much. At least Synopsy with the bomb bails out of there, realizes that his teammate's calling for the quick rotate. Rigon saying, I've got short, I've got the entry pathing into B, wrap back and link up with me.
2-on-2 retake, bomb just getting planted down. Nodios, ooh, he did connect a shot, but it wasn't the head. It needed to be that swift headshot if he was going to stand any chance of that trade. Of course, keep in mind, it was a full eco. excl coming through into this one with barely anything, no Kevlar, aim punch a problem, but still making Guild Eagles sweat this one out. And if Salazar can keep his hands on this AWP, I mean, that is a huge boost to their buy going into the next one. About as good as you could have really hoped for, especially as they got contact in mid, and the opening trades were all in favor of Guild Eagles. So Salazar neutralizing Synopsy should save him this AWP. And excl, they'll be super happy about that outcome.
Yeah, not too bad. You at least get a weapon to work with. The comms there for the Eagles. Minor celebration, one that you feel like you've limped through at the end, but you've still got the round, and that's the big picture. That's what you're looking for, equalizing the scoreline 3 apiece at the minute here on the 3rd map.
May have been a bit of revenge, actually. I just realized it was Synopsy who tagged Senary in the smoke to get him killed, and it was the other way around on Inferno. So maybe now they're even. No more team killing, please, Guild Eagles.
It might very well be some killing from the hands of Rigon, though. As he slivers his way up to short once again. Fire Serpent coiled, ready to strike. If anyone gives him an inch to play with, he'll try and deliver, cut off those rotations, and potentially give them a pick to double back into. Bombs left back towards spawn side, so you take map control on the default, see if you can get a pick to build off.
Oh, that is such a crisp entry. He will be traded back, though, had no supporting cast members. The bomb still dropped back on the T side of connector. Someone's going to have to go back for that one, and a shot missing by kraghen. Nearly took that to the hand. So it's a really nice entry, but it almost feels like it's not for that much in return, Jackie. It's an even trade back. They can't capitalize off it. And Salazar with the easiest of picks, but he's lost his compadre of kraghen. That's going to put a lot more pressure on Salazar. And with a smoke and Molotov, he's going to have to hold in position. This will feel very uncomfortable for him, but he's gifted another kill. When Flatro gives up his back.
Walks through the smoke, hoping that maybe he'd catch him on the timing, but Salazar, prime time position, delivers. And with how little time they've got left on the clock, and Queenix's position, the round, well, that's going to be going down once again. They've cut it off perfectly. Bomb goes flying miles away. GX in panic position, turns the corner, but the martyrdom of Queenix denies it.
4-3, the score, neck and neck. Economically speaking, it's super close. The ebb and flow of these rounds is super close. I mean, you could make a case that Guild Eagles on another day could be like 5-1 in the lead, but you could say the same on the other side of the coin.
Oh, man.
Literally bumping into each other. Well, then. There was a great cost as well on the side of ECSTATIC, so it's like they're getting success, but it's not clean. And Guild Eagles know that. They can sense that they're only a round away from breaking this back again. And as long as this goes even back and forth, by the way, ECSTATIC have a very rough T-half. So Guild Eagles, I think, will be relatively happy if they can keep trading these. And speaking of trades, we have another one. Senary's woes continue. He's dropped to 0 and 8, but it's kraghen that's traded in return. And he has been a big-time player for ECSTATIC in this best of 3.
They're going to funnel themselves back into Salazar's lair, though. He's taking a pixel peek and finds their head. Delivers that one straight to the face of GX, takes out the AWPer for Eagle's side. And again, gives them an advantage to work with in terms of the numbers. Synopsy this time has backup in the form of Rigon towards short, and they get the pick on B. This causes some issues with ECSTATIC setup. They're suddenly thinking about 2 bomb sites rather than prioritizing just one. Baited into the crosshair of Juan Flatro and a rotate back. He's got a smoke, but needs his teammate. Rigon's got to grab the bomb and arrive at the scene of the crime.
Man, ECSTATIC must have rotated so many times, the two of them are dizzy. Back and forth through Heaven and Dumpster respectively. And they're not even sure that this is guaranteed an A-side play. It could go back through Con onto the B side. And that seems to be what Patti is assuming right now as he comes off the boost. At the worst possible moment, they want to go back in for it again. But it's been in a post plant, and it's allowed them to get into position to deal with this. Patti's low, but they still stand their ground and deliver a frag onto Rigon. And now one Flatro and a 1-on-2. With a bomb planted for his position, could try and thread this double spray and gets it done. Guild Eagles with a 4-4 as when Flatro steps up, accepts the adulation of his teammates, knowing he's just broken the CTs.
Steps up in the server and steps up in real life as well. A celebration off the back of the 1 versus 2 clutch. A round that felt like it had got away from them. See the raw emotion and the relief all bundled into one.
Yeah, the raw emotion from Flatro, and Devil Walk sat back in his chair, huge size. He's like, God, you guys are going to give me a heart attack.
I know. Oh, man. Oh, it's one of those scrappy games. It's one of those really scrappy games. And it's down to these little moments where it does get a bit wild, where things start to go like this, where it falls in favor of Guild. Somehow they have that little buff in these sort of scenarios, and for ECSTATIC as well. You read it. You had the idea, the boost play, but then it just turns into calamity. Quickly trying to figure out what you need to do. And the round ticks on by 4-4. Investment into the SMGs. 4 MP9s and a single scout for Salazar.
Oh, they broke him so bad they couldn't justify a save into this round. But Do not take this round lightly. ECSTATIC can still punish you with this purchase. A scout for Salazar. He's had a great start to this map. 11-4 to his name. Primarily over on the A side of the map, though, in bathrooms. And at the moment, he's playing on long by himself, and it doesn't look like he's going to see any action. It's a B-sided stack they've spotted, but Queenix has snatched in for one, centering around the corner, instantly gets pushed back by Lodius. It's a massacre. It's a disaster. Guild Eagles are getting destroyed. Not a single kill against a force-buying MP9-yielding team.
They had the B bomb site stack, everyone armed with the bulldozers, and they deliver. Flattened, steamrolled, on contact, pick after pick, no room to reply. Oh man, head in hand. You win a huge clutch. You feel like you're starting to get that momentum. A reality check from ECSTATIC, and now you're the ones with a broken bye. Scout for Synopsy, everyone else down to the pistols.
See both sides of the emotion of what this RMR means, what the Major means to both teams. From elation to deflation, the Guild Eagles still have themselves some pistols to play with. And so often, the case in these RMRs has been that the pistols have prevailed. We've also seen ECSTATIC hemorrhage a lot of rounds against half-buys in their previous games, but Salazar slithers in for the scout frag. Oh, GXX nearly nailed him on the jump there. That must have been close. You heard the bullet whiz by his head.
Yeah, offering out the free haircuts. A short back and sides, please. Juan Flatro, he'll do more than just take the top off of Patti, though. Oh no, they're doubling up as well. Walking into the bomb site now, getting close with his pistols where they can actually be quite lethal. And Juan Flatro grabs himself a Kalashnikov, has it in his hands, hoping they'll give more 1v1s up. Keep peeking into me is what he's thinking. Molly to make it uncomfortable. He runs around the back of the map, gets one pickup, spraying his way down on the second as well. Oh, around the corner, Salazar with a 5-7. Finally puts an end to that one.
Oh. Love the read of the situation from Juan Flatro, though, realizing as the nade comes in, there would be a brief couple moments where he could just sneak around the back. And if the spray onto the dumpster had have actually yielded the kill, that round was on. That clutch was doable. But there you have it, the screams. Trying to keep calm, composed in the tactical timeout now. They must realize that Guild Eagles are going to have nothing to play with coming into this round. So an MP9 picked up on Nodios. M4 on the ground. A perfect opportunity for an 8-4 half.
Seize the initiative now, push the advantage. Keep building that CT side buffer. So nice to see the entire team as well looking a lot more fired up, bouncing off one another, supporting each other, the fist bumps. ECSTATIC, the full Danish roster. If they can lop the head off here, they can make it to the Copenhagen Major. Life could change for all 5 of these players. Salazar waiting for the push towards middle, supported by the AK. And finally, one frag for the Eagles. Rigon's P250 does damage, but the backline should be the closer.
Even that's a little bit sloppy. Not that it really matters. They have enough funds to replenish all those fallen weapons, so it really doesn't matter, all things considered. But to get 2 kills out of that round is quite surprising. Senary 0 and 11. He was so good on Ancient in particular. He's had a very rough map of it so far.
You need the 5 fingers on one hand here for Guild Eagles. Not a single player can afford to disappear into the shadows. It's been a tight T side. A lot of close rounds. You want to finish it with as large an advantage as possible. Heads up maneuver down in connector. They flash themselves in. Perfect placement of the nade as well. And again, he's blown out of the round.
Caught that nade on the head. It's a far cry from the exquisite performances from Salazar, kraghen, and Nodios. Patti may have started strong, but he's not really been needed. In this round, he's perched up with 2, and Flatro, 1 on 5, has been in so many clutch situations, but this should be a bridge too far. Doesn't have control over the bomb. He's been spotted, and he's living on borrowed time. ECSTATIC, mere moments away from securing an 8-4 half. And although Flatro heroically is trying to fight against the inevitable, ECSTATIC get the job done and have put themselves into a very strong position.
We spoke about their T side. We said they needed to get themselves as big of a buffer as possible. And with the way some of these rounds were going, it looked like that might be an impossible task for them. But ending the half with a large advantage. Pistol rounds have always been a problem, though. They won the Overpass CT pistol incredibly cleanly. Not a single casualty. Looked a lot better than what we had seen over some of their best of threes. Can you do it again?
If they do, one giant leap towards Copenhagen to join the likes of Kraghen and Glaive, legends of the game. They are so close, Jackie, as they were yesterday against Apeks, and things came unraveled. It felt like they had a mental block when the finish line was within touching reach and distance. Have they learned from that experience? This pistol, so important for Guild Eagles to hold on to. They do have Julies in play, and 3 of the 5 players on B site, which looks like it's about to get hit.
Synopsy, posted, on short. Got backup for the aggression. Seneri with the utility as well. Flashbang and HE to support his teammates on the contact. ECSTATIC fully grouping now. Everyone getting themselves set up outside of Monster.
It's mainly a short-sided push, though, with Seneri watching. The HE tossed in. This could do a lot of damage. Not really. Just tickling the oncoming T's, and Kraghen, he locks it down with 2. Nodius obliges with 1 of his own. And ECSTATIC in a 5-on-2 in the heartbeat. Looking to shut this one down as fast as possible. From a 13-3, dispatching in the first map, they are now in prime position to secure their spot at the Major. And GX is the only man standing, the only man left alive in this one. Similar to Flatro in the dying embers of the first half, he is trying his damnedest to hold off the wave of T's coming at him. 9-4 going to be the score, Jackie. ECSTATIC have secured both pistol rounds.
It was the Cinderella story of RMR runs again and again for the Bad News Eagles, now representing an organization for the first time. They looked to complete the reverse sweep and make it to the Major. But standing in front of them, a Danish squad, so close yesterday, and again today, looking like they are within touching distance of guaranteeing their place. The legacy, the history, immortalized in the game. First-time Major appearances. If they can finish it here in the 3rd map, and Guild Eagles, after losing the pistol, will have nothing to fight with. ECSTATIC could take it to 10.
And Patti just walking calmly, patiently outside of Monster. We'll be finding a site bereft of any CTs. A 10-4 score looking very likely at this stage. And coming into this round, Kraghen, 120 ADR, 5 multi-kill rounds, and 5 opening duels to his name. The guy has been performing on a different level. And Guild Eagles have not been able to keep up pace with him.
They stack and defend, grouping up towards Patti. Nade in to take down the first man, looking to farm up the cash as well. Patti does get 2 on the fadeaway just against the pistols here, looking to recover a MAC-10, but that's a tiny prize.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a consolation prize. I'm not even sure they'll want to hold on to that going into the next round, Jackie. They have bigger fish to fry than a MAC-10. Money situation far from ideal. Double digits now as Guild Eagles call their first tactical timeout. We know their T side can be explosive. It can be unrelenting. But now they've got to show us it again when the pressure's really, truly on.
And these timeouts, they've done so much for Guild over the course of the RMR run. The passion and poetry that comes out of Devil Walk, instilling inspiration into his troops. But the opportunity for error, any chance for him to make mistakes, that's already gone. It has to be flawless counter-strike from this point forward.
Reality beginning to settle in, perhaps, for Guild Eagles, realizing the situation that is at hand. 3 Galils for ECSTATIC. Some of these previous ones have been a little bit costly. Open play, GX fully flashed off and naded behind it, forced back into the bathrooms.
The opening gambit, looking for the initial pick on the sniper, denied. Even dealing damage on the fadeaway nade. Potentially wanting to go for the boost up here as well. Audio cue that would have been heard, so information gathered. They dropped the nade on it, a quick response from Guild.
It's a really well-timed nade, but they realize the boost is coming up. Ooh. He was still crouched. It didn't allow him to stabilize his feet and then connect the headshot. It could have gone a very different way for ECSTATIC. HE's up and over, not really affecting the CTs that much. But this is where the lack of utility begins to become a problem. A minute on the clock, there's no smokes left. 3 flashes, that's all they have to play with.
The Wolfpack of the roster for ECSTATIC, they're down towards B, but one man in kraghen, he's been lurking outside of long. Seeing if he can find an opportunity, a potential backstab to sink the knife in the late round, and that's where we're at right here, right now. 30 seconds on the clock. The rest of the utility has to be used, and they've got to commit to the B play. One Flatro, he was damaged from the initial nade, softened him up, and he falls. Rigon delivers with one, trying to reposition to support Senary. Equal trades are found. 3 versus 3. 18 seconds on the timer. Rigon, he finds the flick, but it's just a mid-tag. Backs up Synopsy to at least equalize that one. 10 seconds, Salazar has to plant, and Synopsy smokes him.
Yeah, they were hoping for the plant because kraghen was playing up in heaven. If he could have planted that out in the open, then kraghen was in the perfect position to pincer in and pierce the CTs. It won't be happening. Even if kills weren't forthcoming, you nailed it. So much damage. Down to 5, 10 HP, and then 1 bullet through the smoke seals the deal. That's the kind of round, though, that if you're the Guild Eagles, you're happy to win it, but you don't feel confident about that at all.
You can read it on their faces. Scary rounds, back up against the wall. 5 rounds on the spin to equalize the game at 10 apiece. ECSTATIC, once again investing into it. Rifles on parade, utility supporting that.
Oh, another entry. No potential for follow-up damage. Synopsy was left alone. No one balloons, no one bathrooms. He was there just to be a nuisance, but he gets dealt with instantly, removed, surgically. A good flash forces GX off the angle, and now he's not sure if they've crossed. Molotov off, forced out of position. Guild Eagles are hemorrhaging map control.
ECSTATIC are taking anything they want on this one, and there's not much of an answer back from Guild to repel them. Oh, they're even going to break the smoke and look to see if they can deal damage. There's a timeline here where you're jiggle peeking on the face towards Monster and could get absolutely annihilated. The timing on it, Vince, he gets the Molotov off at least. He can still buy a bit of time, and the free info. Responds by closely going up on short, but Queenix with the Galil gets the opener.
Oh, Patti is just going to run and gun this one down, may get traded out, but the damage should have been done. Rigon, try as he may, there's too many T's for him to deal with. And GX is already tapped out. He's already looking to save. The AWP was never a part of that round. Was flashed, smoked, mollied, everything tossed onto his position. Could never get stable. And ECSTATIC now 11-5. 2 rounds away from the major.
The Danes might just make it to the Copenhagen Major after all. with 11 under the belt, 1 away from series point, major point. Guild Eagles tested on that one, unable to answer. Broken economy as well. GX, he's got to be the backbone of the team in a round like this. You need him to have an absolutely incredible play, do something heroic to change fate.
Precisely. I mean, think of how Salazar was impacting the first half on his CT side opening. Getting picks, was omnipresent, was peeking short, monster, banana, long, everything you could want from him. And he could also play anchor. He was playing behind the site, absorbing all of the punishment. That is what an AWP on this CT side can do. Now, you can also argue that the set plays here from ECSTATIC have been really solid. Their utility's been on point. They've been flashing and smoking off the key angles at the key times. But you're running out of time now. Excuses no longer cut it. You need rounds. And when you're dangling Synopsy out in connector alone and he gets killed without doing anything in return, you're always going to be on the back foot at that point. Rigon tried so hard with 2 kills. They're just being slowly constricted and choked out of this game.
The grip tightening, second by second. Because of how many plays we've seen towards B as well. A heavy invest in terms of the setup, sending most of the troops over there. Just a lone ranger in Synopsy towards toilets. Early utility thrown in, making them think this will be a B play, but in reality, you've got players set up towards long. Quickly taking that map control back, they're going to be able to find their way into the A site already.
Kraghen just continuing the pace, joined alongside Patti. That's a formidable duo. And Flatro now up in the dumpster. He's been spotted. Molotov can be tossed onto the truck as well. They're going to try and make sure all these angles are covered and dealt with. Flatro nowhere to be caught with Synopsy with a flashbang up and over. Lots of damage exchange between the two teams, but Flatro's all alone, and it's like wide swung from bathrooms. The same can be said of Rigon. It's another round that's over before it's even began, and Guild Eagles can do little about this one. It could just be a case of another save. It sucks to do, as a bitter pill to swallow, but the alternative is that you come into that next round with no AWP, a lack of utility, lack of weaponry. At least hold on to 2, boys.
GX, he's posted inside of the bank, but this is so risky. Snapshot to the head. And at that point, count your blessings, get away with what you've got, carry these 2 weapons into the next, because the round itself is long gone. Guild, they have to mount an incredible comeback here because ECSTATIC have made it to 12. 1 more round over the course of this game and they will go to the major, Vince. It's all on the line, and the bomb blast from the site, the increased radius, and he goes down. The AWP removed from play.
Bro, why are we still even there at the stage of the round? Why are we looking for a kill when the T's are guaranteed another buy? It's so strange. You can see that the pressure is getting to them. You've got to hold on to the AWP in that situation. If you want a chance at 7 unanswered rounds to try and get yourself back into this matchup, you need the AWP in play. Now they have basically nothing. That is such a strange situation to witness.
Now ECSTATIC do what they know. Bread and butter B takes. You can afford to just bombard your way in. Copenhagen is calling and they want to make it there. Overwhelm the defenders of Guild. They fall down to just 2 players, Synopsy and GX, in an uncomfortable retake situation. The Danes look for the bomb plant. Synopsy dives in, comes off the plant to remove the head. GX with just a deagle. Time ticks away. 13th round confirmed. They make it to the Copenhagen Major as the Danish squad have done it.
Full credit to ECSTATIC. So close against Apeks, yet so far. Many teams that are broken mentally. Not these guys. They got on the second time of asking.